Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the new Gems of War Mythic of Rath-Amon. So of course this is the first Friday of the month, so we have the new Mythic available for the next week in Glory, Gem, Guild, and VIP chests. The Winter Imp is also gone, and you'll be able to get the Imp of Love if you're still missing that for collection purposes as well. But anyways, let's go and go over a couple teams for the Mythic, go obtain it, and just overall first impressions. So this thing's interesting. It is very similar to two troops that already exist within the game, Wild King and Wild Queen, in that it creates a mix of a color and a bunch of skulls. It does do 24 instead of 22, however it also has a 24 mana cost instead of 22, meaning it'll be slightly harder to get up, but it will have 2 additional gem spawn when it does. It also gets to gain a little bit of souls, so you're definitely getting max souls every time you use this. And while it doesn't have any kind of really good effects to boost skulls, like getting extra attack or enrage or anything similar, what it does have is it gets to cleanse all allies. So this could potentially be worth it occasionally, being able to have as an alternative cleanse that can also do skull pressure. This actually reminds me a lot of what Divine Ishbala used to do, where on top of everything else it used to have 50% mana starts and also cleanse, which made it a cleanse skull spammer, which made it very absurdly good. And this is in that category, so it's interesting to see how it pans out. The biggest issue right now is there really isn't a soul skull boost ratio team in the current state of the game. While there are a few things that can boost ratio from souls, none of them can really be oriented into like a pure skull spamming team. And for that reason, this might not be particularly over the top right now, but has potential to be really good into the future if we just got a couple more good soul boost ratios. As far as the resource ratios are concerned, I would definitely say gold is the strongest right now, and if they ever fix the thing with maps, with that one troop having that issue, maps might even still be better than souls. Maybe not from a resource perspective, but at least what it can end up boost ratioing into, due to how strong that one troop that they had to nerf due to that one bug. Which we don't really know if he's getting reverted back or not. But anyways, it does have 50% soul gain, nothing like Fair Shraw's 150%, however, that's still a little bit extra. It does have all the standard things that an Undead has, and it also gets to gain souls every single turn. Of course, 4 souls every single turn, not a huge amount, but that combined with his ability basically means by the time you cast them once, you are reaching the max capacity of souls, since you just had to end up hitting 40, which is him casting once plus 5 turns expiring. So those 2 conditions being met, and you would hit the max capacity of souls, meaning if nothing else, you can use them as a skull spammer that also passively gives you souls. So overall, it's a decent troop. I would definitely say it is worth end up getting. It's probably not something that will be used a huge amount in the current state of the game, but definitely has a lot of potential going forward, and is still a very strong skull spammer. I know I personally don't use Wild Queen that much, though Wild King I do still use on occasion due to his like enrage and everything. It is a pretty similar concept to those kind of troops. Anyways, let's go and see if we can get it. See how many keys it takes. I am going to be doing 200 right now as the servers. Okay, well, there we go. Well, we should have done 50. You do generally want to do 50 at a time, because we could have gotten this on the second key and have wasted like 150 keys. But the servers are a little bit laggy right now, right at reset, so I figured we'd go for the 200. And look at that, we already got him. But there he is, Rath-Amon. So let's go and put him into the teams, go upgrade this guy, and see what we can do with him. So let's go type in the good old Rath here. Oh gosh, there's so many things that have the word Rath in. Let me go put him into the teams. Just using the other one as a placeholder here. And of course, all the teams will be in the description below, as well as in the comment section if you want to go and copy paste any of them. Let's see. So first things first, let's just orb him. Let's just throw all the orbs. Let's do your first trade here. I guess I could just throw a major arge too, but oh well. Let's go throw like yeah, major green. Should have just done the major arge, but at this point I guess we'll do 2 small little oranges. Make sure not to hit the power orb. Make sure not to use those lessers. But then again, I don't know. We're getting so many lessers. We could pretty much just go for all the mythics. Speaking of which, mythic tier list coming out soon for all 109 mythics currently within the game. And yeah, with how many lesser orbs you get, we are reaching kind of close to having the point where every single mythic will just have its bronze level, which would be kind of cool. So a lot of them will be able to get their a little bit extra stats. With that being said, he is under a category that does not gain much of a benefit from getting those extra stats, as he is a support, which is really weird for something that spams skulls. He might be one of the only, if not the only support in the game that quite literally spams skulls. I guess he's considered support because he gives souls and cleanse. However, he's very much a skull spammer, not a support troop, which is really weird because if I'm not mistaken, did they make a mistake on this? Because if you compare Wild Queen is a, I'm not sure what that mark is again, name-wise. It's a War Master, and assumably Wild King is also a War Master. Yes, he is. That's weird, but for whatever reason, he's a support troop. I guess just because of souls and cleanse, despite the second half of his ability being pretty much the same thing, create a mix of skulls and another color. In this case, purple for the new guy. That's so weird. But yeah, they're considered different typing, even though they're pretty similar. Anyways, this does bring Kedar to 23 star. Or, sorry. Wait, why did it do it twice? Wait, well, there we go. 2 23 stars. Wait. Hold up. 24 star? Unlock 3 traits. What am I missing? Hold up 1 second. Is it actually 24 star? Oh, yeah. It is actually 24 star. I forgot. The faction that we have, Fang Moor right now, gives us an additional star. Because, of course, we have that event going on. That'll be covered in a separate video a little bit later. But, yes, we do have Fang Moor events going on. Shouldn't have clicked this. Gosh, everything's so laggy right now. But, of course, we do have Fang Moor events that ends up coming in with another troop for there. So, technically, Kedar got 2 new troops today. One that you can end up getting for 210 gems right over here through the faction shop. And, of course, the other one, which is in the Glory Gem Guild VIP chest for the next week. However, that other event is only for the next 3 days. Anyways, let's go into this troop already and see what we can do. So, actually, I probably shouldn't do it in PvP. Too many weird teams in PvP. Let's just go to, oh no, we don't give Merlantis much love. They have like 1 billion submerges, though. Oh, I would have to reset it to a thing. Never mind. Okay, well, let's just do, how about Golvania? Actually, no. Because one of them actually gets countered by that. Let's do Sword's Edge. This is a big one of them. I'll go from the top. Because the first one that we're actually doing here is a Deathmark-oriented team, oddly enough. So we're using a 4 times Undead. Of course, we're using this with the Undead spam weapon. This gives a bunch of blue and purple. Blue's not going to do as much, but purple definitely will, that's for sure. So we're kind of just doing that for a little bit of mana accumulation here with this very first one. So right off the bat, we're going to want... Oh, I missed the 5 times blue. I mentioned that the other day, too. That I'm not sure why, but during these videos, I like never noticed stuff like that. And then after the fact, I notice it like instantly. Every single one of those. Okay, he creates a little bit of purple for us, which is actually beneficial. So of course, as we established earlier, he creates a mix of purple and skulls. So that's exactly what he's going to do here. Pretty nice mix. Most of his mana coming back. Seems decent enough. Works pretty similar to, you know, already established troops that do similar. Wild King, Wild Queen, and the such. But of course, he has the benefit of cleansing. So you don't have to worry about freeze. You don't have to worry about entangle. Which is, of course, something pretty major that teams like this have to worry about. Any kind of skull-oriented team. And you'd still have to worry about it missing, though. It's one of the reasons I stopped using quite a few of the other ones. The Wild King's still kind of good because if he backfires, you know, it gains so much durability on, or so much attack onto your team that doesn't really matter as much. But, of course, we do have actually a Farish Ra on this team. So, of course, Farish Ra, not used too much. However, he does have an interesting benefit when combined with this. He has 150% soul gain, but you know, this guy already has a 50% soul gain. That on top of the fact that he's going to max out your souls pretty quickly between his final trait and his ability itself. Just cast twice and you're already good to go. So in this combination, we can transform all yellow to purple and basically just do a bunch of damage. In this particular instance, we're getting 120, 1 per every single soul, which means in this exact instance, we will have 170 additional damage. The only problem with that is that tends to not be enough in many states of the game these days to actually kill something. In this case, the only thing we could kill is the first slot, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm trying to get alignment here too, and it just isn't giving it to us. So we'll go for the poke. We do indeed land the extra turn, but not really get anything of value from it. We still somehow do not have alignment on the other thing. I'm just going to take some purple then. And see if we can get another cast down here. We don't have a cascade over there. Gosh, we just cannot get a good Farish Ra here. I guess we're just poking you with a skull. Unfortunately, a little bit of skull reduction. Farish Ra still does not want to get alignment. But, oh yeah, and you're blocking our red too. That's fine. Hey, we finally got our alignment. So we'll go poke on you. Of course, we're using Death Knight Hero class. You could also use Necromancer. Necromancer would give you more souls, but honestly, you're already gaining so much souls that having a little bit more isn't really going to make that huge of a difference. But it could be used instead. But we end up going down this route because you can 4 times Deathmark when it dies. And inevitably, you do intend for it to actually end up dying there. And we'll go for a poke that, unfortunately, as Farish Ra tends to have the issue for, this doesn't do enough damage in the current state of the game. A lot of the modes, of course, he was balanced around the game when it was like, what, 5-ish years ago? So, of course, his boost ratio still, even with the extra little bit of support, just isn't quite enough to go over the edge at this, in the current state of the game. Anyways, next we have a pretty much all-in skull build. We're just using Thral as a pretty standard mana accumulator and doing it with a Lord of Slaughter with Rath-Amon, both of which having very high skull pressure. And we also have a Keeper of Souls there just to kind of connect any skulls that might be some loose ends here and there. So right off the bat, we obviously want to take a purple, and of course, anytime we use Thral, we have to just immediately not get a purple on the board. Very unfortunate, but we can just take that. Take this purple finally after all those extra turns, and then just click there until we win. We are going to have to give him a blue extra turn there, but luckily this isn't a fight against an actual team, so they do not get an infinite off of that. So we will go and just go for this, get all the mana we need. Should be extra turn with the extra gem spawn, and then you just keep going back and forth. And if you run out of mana, cast Thral. If you die, well, Keeper of Souls does have a summon. 50% of the 50% chance to summon a white when an enemy dies. Obviously, that's nowhere near as good as Web Spinner's ability that does a 70, or sorry, Arachnid Weaver's ability that has a 75% chance to do Web Spinner. But nonetheless, it still ends up getting an extra summon there. If that does end up dying, we get out a kill. And then we have a little guy just kind of stand there. So we're going to go and actually convert away purple. This is something you probably don't end up wanting to do most of the time. But we have enough board clear that I don't think it's going to matter that much at all. And in this case, yeah, it didn't end up mattering at all. So we go for that. Lord of Slaughter. Yeah, we have a guarantee alignment in the bottom corner. Might as well go for it. Go for the big poke. Unfortunately, did not get full mana there. So I'll have to go through one last time. And we have all the skull pressure we could possibly ever need. I guess we'll just do it on green. And that's already good enough. And of course, one nice benefit of using this troop is every single time that you battle with it, you will end up getting the max capacity of souls. And if you have any kind of extra 50%, like for example, Keeper of Souls, even that extra 50%, well, that gets to start adding up. Not as much as we got during the other one, but like right here, you can see 284. Of course, that varies based on other bonuses that you have and VIP bonus and all that. But it definitely adds up. A great skull spammer for passively getting some skulls. Realistically, if you're doing him on teams, it's probably only like 10, 20,000 per hour on average. Nothing like particularly high, definitely not like soul farming material. But it's not bad for some just extra free souls for having to do basically nothing but just using a troop that you'd probably already be using. Just a standard skull spammer. So in that regard, yeah, he's actually kind of decent. He is actually not that bad. So right here we have a lower rarity team. You could switch out the weapon if you so choose for something a little bit bigger. I was considering running it for the 3-colored, gosh, why on earth do I forget what it's called? Not Dawnbringer, but the other one, Dustbringer. But I was considering replacing out for Dustbringer, but I figured we also make this a cheap team. So it's just a standard Thrall Leprechaun combo with Black Manacle that you get for free at a very low level. And that's pretty much the whole concept here. One nice thing about this too is if we get to Devour, which we actually did, luckily, to be able to show it here, it has 20% chance to Devour, and of course, if you're using a Skull Spam team and you have extra stats and have a really big attack stat, well, you get to use that for extra value. I'm using Elementals here. I was considering using Titan in case we do get Devour, because of course, if you Devour something that has 0 attack, you did not gain the attack, so we got lucky there, devouring something that wasn't entangled yet. However, you could end up doing that if you're trying to get lucky on it. Really just depends. I figured just go for the entangle because earlier on in the game, gosh, that's why. But yeah, right there, we would have gained his attack, but as you saw right there, we actually gained 0 attack. Right now we're getting a little lucky with Black Manacle. But the main reason I end up setting it to Entangle instead, or, Elementals, is mostly because earlier on in the game, you're probably going to struggle a little bit to deal with dying. And it kind of just makes it a little bit harder to die. And you know what? Let's go end it with his cast. And always, of course, make sure to good to get him to cast twice. Though realistically, even just him casting once, the battle's probably going to take about 5 turns or so anyway. So you'd still get the benefit regardless. And hey, let's go grab our chest. There we go. Anyways, that is the new Mythic. Overall, I actually like it. I liked it more than I thought I would, though it kind of makes sense. It's literally just Wild Queen or Wild King. It is quite literally these troops, just with a 2 higher mana cost, but it makes up for it with 2 higher, so why is it not coming up? Because all the wild folk. But it has a 2 higher mana cost for 2 higher gem spawn, which isn't too bad. I still feel like Wild King's overall better. It has Enrage, it has attack gained everything, so if something dies, well, you're good to go. Has only 2 lower gem spawn, but has a slightly better effect, plus a storm. That's the nice thing about both these two too. I'm actually surprised he didn't get like a purple storm or something. Yeah, this guy doesn't have any new storm or any storm to go with him, because the other two do. Wild Queen and Wild King, they both have a skull related storm based on when a condition is met, whereas this thing actually has no storm at all. He doesn't have yeah, I guess he got the soul bonus instead, because every undead troop has this trait, so they had to put that on it. They gave it Necromancer basically instead of Purple Storm. I guess that works out. There just isn't enough soul boost ratio, team. I think that is the biggest issue that this guy comes down to. While it is really nice to have a cleansing skull spammer, which is always great to have, of course that won't help you with silence though, because he does not have immune to silence. So if he does end up getting silence, that's going to be an issue. I guess you could run Orpheus medals, but at that point, why do you need cleanse? But yeah, he is a little bit weak to silence in that regard. But it is nice to see another skull spammer that can cleanse. Ever since Divine Shpala got nerfed like 4 or 5 years ago, it was a little while ago. But yeah, it's a very strong premise. We've seen it in the past. It has a lot of potential. I'm just concerned that he doesn't gain extra skull damage, and that there's not like a soul boost ratio team that can really fully utilize that, at least on the skull department, because most of them are damage based and obviously not that good currently. But if we could ever get like a bunch of really huge like attack gains into skull spams boost ratioed from souls, and kind of have a team kind of structured around that. Not to mention a bunch of undeads have a lot of summons, so you'll constantly have like a first slot resummon method. We kind of did that with, actually, yeah, this team, where we kind of had the resummon capability off of Keeper of Souls. And if we ever get like that full combo where we can have like a meat shield first slot, this is a lot of damage pressure, something on the team constantly resummoning the first, some kind of good mana accumulator, and just kind of putting it all together, and have that with a soul boost ratio, definitely has a lot of potential. But overall, I would definitely advise getting it. Passive souls is for using a skull spam team, and yeah, it's already pretty similar to other S tier troops within the game. This is with the big downside of not having any kind of speed scroll pressure, so this will make it so it can't really be ran in Explore 12 and stuff like that, which basically means his only location he could realistically be used in the current state of the game is PvP. So for example, Guild Wars, which is kind of convenient, as guess what this week is? Guild Wars. And oddly enough, yeah, you could use them on either the Guild War days. Actually, you could run them today. It is Purple Guild War Day. You know what? We're going to later tonight. How about that? And when we do the 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time stream later tonight, we will run the new Mythic and see how bad we do. We're currently on a 5-0 streak on Paragon, but if we lose because of it, oh well. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Might as well. We'll go do that later tonight. But anyways, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. All the teams will also be down there if you want to go copy-paste any of them that we end up doing with this video. And best of luck if you're going to be trying for the new Mythic that's available for the next several days, all the way until next Friday's reset time. Anyways, guys, feel free to leave a like. Helps out a lot and is greatly appreciated. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.